All right, let's dive into a topic that makes a lot of OSCP candidates just freeze up, the buffer overflow. But here's the plan. We're going to take that big, scary thing and turn it into a simple, repeatable playbook. Let's get right into it. If that quote hits a little too close to home, then you're in exactly the right spot. The source material for this explainer comes from someone who said their first exam felt like getting a cartoon anvil dropped on their head. It's a really common feeling, but trust me, it's something we can absolutely get past. Our whole goal here boils down to this one simple shift. We're going to stop treating buffer overflows like it's some kind of dark magic, full of guesswork and panic and just hoping for the best. Instead, we're building a process, something with discipline that leads to real, actual confidence. It's not sorcery, it's a playbook.
So let's start right there with that initial struggle. That feeling of just getting completely flattened by the anvil that so many people feel right when they start out.
Okay, now this is a really big deal, and it might just change how you look at the whole exam. The goal isn't just to squeak by or hope you get lucky and avoid the buffer overflow box. No, the real goal is to get so good at the process that you actually want it, because you'll know it's going to be some of the easiest, most predictable points you can get. So before we even touch a single technical step, we got to deal with the biggest obstacle, and that's the one in your head. It's all about changing how you think about what a crash really is. This right here, this is probably the single most important thing to get. Every single time that application crashes, it's not failing you. It's not a judgment. It's giving you information. It's feedback. It's pure data. And once you really truly get that, everything changes. And this slide just lays it out perfectly, right? You've got two paths. On one side, you have the panic loop. It's a total dead end. The app crashes, you get mad, maybe reboot the VM, and you just waste precious time. But then there's the data loop. This is the professional way. It crashes, you log what you did, you adjust your payload based on that new information, and you go again. You're not failing, you're experimenting. All right, so with that mindset locked in, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about the core technical loop and how we build that repeatable process. Okay, finding the offset. This is your first huge win. And these 4 steps, they are non-negotiable. You send your unique pattern, you crash the service, and you look at what's in the EIP register. That's the instruction pointer telling the program where to go next. Then you use a tool to find the exact length needed, and this is so critical, you confirm you have control by overriding it with something obvious, like 4Bs. Seriously, skipping that confirmation step is just asking for a headache later. Think of this as your quick and dirty debugging guide. When things go wrong, and they will, don't just guess. Ask one simple question. Did I actually control EIP with my 4Bs? If the answer is no, then your problem is with the offset. Go back and check your work. If the answer is yes, then your problem is somewhere else, probably with your jump instruction or the shellcode on the stack. This one question will stop you from chasing ghosts for hours. Next up, hunting for bad characters. This can feel super frustrating, like you're just guessing in the dark. But you're not. The process is totally logical. You send a whole sequence of bytes, from 1 to 255. Then, you just look in the debugger and compare what you sent to what actually made it into memory. The very first byte that's different, that's your bad character. You take it out, and you do it again. It's a process of elimination, not a guessing game. Getting that reverse shell, it's an amazing feeling. But on the OSCP, that's literally only half the job. Being able to clearly document what you did is just as critical as actually doing it. This is where you build the muscle memory that's going to save you on exam day. Every single time you practice, you need to document it like it's the real deal. The person who wrote our source material tells this painful story about popping a box at 3 in the morning, closing everything out, and then waking up to realize his screenshots were totally useless. He had to waste 2 hours trying to rebuild steps he could barely remember. Don't be that person. Document as you go. Okay, let's just zoom out for a second. The OSCP, it's not just some technical challenge. It's a pretty big investment of your time, your energy, and yeah, your money. Just let that number sink in. That's roughly what a single exam retake costs. Seeing it in black and white like that, it's a pretty good motivator, right? Good prep isn't just about points, it's about protecting your wallet. When you look at the whole picture, the initial package, potential retakes, maybe some extra lab time, it becomes super clear. Getting good at buffer overflows is actually a financial strategy. Every successful practice run is you actively lowering the odds that you'll have to shell out for that retake. So we've walked through the mindset, the technical loop, and the money side of things. The big question now is, what do you do with all this information right now?
This is that moment. It's time to go from just listening and learning to actually planning and doing. You've got the framework now. The next step is to make it yours. Here are 3 real, solid actions you can take, like in the next 15 minutes. First, figure out how many practice runs you can realistically fit in before your exam. Second, open a blank document and just start drafting your own one-page playbook using the steps we covered. And third, go into your calendar and schedule one practice session at the exact same time of day as your actual exam. And that's really the big secret, isn't it? This has nothing to do with being some kind of hacking genius. It's about having a solid process, practicing it over and over until it's second nature, and being able to do it without panicking when that clock is ticking. If you can do that, the buffer overflow box stops being your enemy and becomes your best friend on exam day.